Excuse me. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to LEGO Racers 2 on Game Boy Advance. When we last left off, we have beaten all of the worlds in the game, and now we are heading off to the final world with a one-on-one race that is featured in this episode against the one and only, the return of Rocket Racer. Yeah. Who somehow managed to become champion again after losing in the first LEGO Racers. So there we go, into the portal, and here we are. Now, here's the thing. This world doesn't have an environment that you fully explore. This is just dedicated to 4 races that you have to do one after the other. And for some reason my game was messing up there for a second. Okay. Alright. Okay, hopefully let's hopefully do it right this time. Alright, and away we go! Alright. So this is the world of, I believe it is pronounced, I sometimes get this wrong, Xalax, as in X-A-L-A-X. Xalax, I think it's pronounced. And believe it or not, these little creatures would eventually get their own little Lego sets as part of the actual LEGO Racers toy line. I only ever got one of these little guys. I forget the name of the character, and I do not have the set with me anymore. It's like broken into a million billion pieces in my Lego set. So I don't have it with me anymore, but I do remember these characters very, very well. These little, I forget what they're called, but I'm just going to call them Xalaxians. How about that for a crazy name? And yeah. Just like in any other kart racer, and where you see, you know, other computer characters playing as characters that you wish you was able to play as, I wish you could play as these little characters. You know, the same thing with the likes of, you know, Rocket Racer. Now, in the PC version, I don't know about the PS2 version, but the PC version, there does exist ways where you can actually play as Rocket Racer in LEGO Racers 2, but it involves like going into the actual code and sort of adjusting some parameters, I believe, to make him work, which I don't have time to do. Also, I shall just quickly mention that in the Game Boy Advance version, if you go into arcade mode, you're still stuck playing as your custom character, and the only changes you can do is with the computers. So yeah, you can't play as Rocket Racer in this version of the game either, which is really irritating because he was one of my favourite characters that I would always play as once you unlock him in LEGO Racers 1. And it sucks that, you know, he can't be playable in LEGO Racers 2 at all, like, legitimately. Like, it's the same, I get the same feelings with the likes of Crash Team Racing on PS1, where you couldn't play as Oxide, like, legitimately, not without, like, a cheat engine. Though, luckily, you know, with years have gone by since then, and, you know, people have found a way to actually make Oxide playable in the PS1 Crash Team Racing, as well as in Crash Nitro Kart, people have been able to get the bosses to work in single player mode as well, which in that game is you know, all my dreams as a child are all slowly but surely coming true, which is crazy to me. And you know, it just makes me happy that there are other people out there who are trying to effectively do what the developers couldn't. and make my dreams come true with these old Lego racing games. Like, who'd have thought that these games would, you know, get support like this in 2023 of all years. Anyway, these tracks are quite hard. As you can see, there's a lot of tight turns and also areas where you can fall into the green ooze and, again, like in the Mars tracks, lose a lot of precious time, which is not fun. It is not fun at all. And such. Once again, I have heavily edited these videos down again so that you guys don't have to waste too much time trying to get through these episodes, and I don't have to worry about doing too much voiceover, because again, I'm doing this as post-commentary. Anyway, here we go. Speed! Look at all this speed and all these failed attempts. Look at that speed. So much speed. Oi, 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 oi. Okay. Moving on to, I think this is race number 3 or 4. Never doing that again. Yeah, you can probably tell when I'm recording this because, you know, recently, whilst I've got nothing else to really talk about here, whilst I'm rewatching all this, you know, I recently watched the Mario movie, and man, it is up there as one of my favourite video game movies of all time. I still think Sonic Movie 2 is my personal favourite ever. But this is certainly in a close second. Like, it is very close. I still have that kind of bias with Sonic Movie 2 being my absolute favourite. And I love it for what it did as a Sonic fan. But I must, you know, congratulate, you know, what Illumination have been able to do with the Mario movie. And I really can't wait for them to do even more stuff with that series. And, I mean, who knows? Maybe, you know, Nintendo will also allow other companies to even make other movies based on their other franchises. You know, I would love, you know, Zelda, Metroid, heck, even Kirby to get brand new like movies based on the franchises and whatnot. And you know, I really thought it was a really good movie in my opinion. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but really good. Anyway, here we are, finally, after a massive amount of BS in this playthrough and my many failed attempts, we are finally facing off against Rocket Racer. And once again, because the track is not even close to the same as the one in the PC version, it's once again a super hard designed track. And this was once again a struggle to get through, especially since, as you saw, you know, Rocket Racer, he's shot off, he's gone. So yeah, this is a struggle. And of course, Rocket Racer has the best looking car. I mean, look at his car. I mean, you can barely see it, but like, ugh. And I really hope, I would love, I know they're not going to do this. I absolutely know they're not going to do this, but I would love if at some point they was to make a throwback DLC pack for the game. Like, if they're going to do proper DLC, this is what they've got to do for Lego 2K Drive. They've got to do a throwback pack. Just a throwback to Lego Racers 1 and Lego Racers 2. You know, I know technically, you know, I mean, technically, if you really think about it, Rocket Racer still exists as a minifigure in the modern day times. He's just not a race car driver. He's a stunt bike driver. Yeah, as part of the recent like Lego City sets. So if they really wanted to bring Rocket Racer back, they probably could. He wouldn't look exactly like he does in the classic games because he's got a bit of an updated design, but you know, I think it would be really cool and make so much sense if they brought back either a lot of the old cars from Lego Racers 1 and 2, or just, you know, just to have references to those games, because I feel like a lot of people get a lot of nostalgia for Lego 2K Drive from these old games. Because, well, yes, they're not as good as yeah, they're not as good as, like, say, Crash Team Racing or Mario Kart, but you know, I feel like it would just be such a nice, cool nod to those old games. Excuse me. God, I hate my cough. Like I say, it just would be it would be nice for them to reference something from the old Lego racing games in this new 2K Drive, which, as of this recording, we're about 13 days till release. And I really cannot wait to get my hands on that game. And not even like play it online, but like just to, you know, drive around a fully open sort of environment as a Lego person in a car of my own creation. Or heck, not even a car, an off-road vehicle or a boat of my own creation. Actually, I've got something for you guys to write down in the comments. Right, tell me what sort of ideas you guys have. If you guys are planning on getting the game, tell me what sort of crazy ideas do you guys have in mind for vehicles that you'll create in the new Lego game? Like, for me, first things first, I'm going to attempt to try and recreate a lot of the old boss character vehicles in the new game. And if that fails, my next best thing is going to be, well, basically making a Batmobile of some sort, some kind. It doesn't have to be exactly one-to-one one of the movie Batmobiles, but, you know, I'd love to, like, build one. Or at least try to build one in the game and use that as sort of one of my primary vehicles. I don't know, it just, like, I've got, like, compared to a lot of other games which have a heavy creative aspect to them, this is like the first time, oh, we won by the way, but this is like the first time where, you know, I just feel like my creative juices are flowing, and God, I just can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm sorry this has gone off into a tangent, but I'll be honest, I've really lost interest in this LEGO Racers 2 game. I'm really losing interest in watching because the tracks just aren't that interesting compared to what they are on the other version, at least. But hey, look at that, we win, and Rocket Racer isn't sulking this time around for some reason, even though he was sulking at the beginning of the game. Unless he's trying to be a proper showman, shit, or something. Oh, look at that, it's all our friends. Oh, it's the alien. The alien is congratulating us. Done, SR9, you drive good. Thank you, Mr. Berg. SR9 is friend. SR9 is always welcome in Arctic World. Yeah! Even Sam Sanister is congratulating me for some reason. Even though he looks more like a villain than a friend, let's be honest. Yeah! Look at all these happy faces, these guys that you raced against at the beginning of the game. I love how the fireman in the Game Boy Advance version looks completely different to the fireman that's in the console version. Yeah! Just a random shot of the crowd. And that's it! That's the game, folks. That is LEGO Racers 2 on Game Boy Advance. Yeah, this playthrough, well, didn't exactly go the way that I wanted to. I wanted to play through the whole of the console version, but let's just say a lot of technical difficulties happened behind the scenes, and I wasn't able to really cover that version properly, and not to mention the rage I was feeling at the end of that. At the end of that second part, I just really didn't want to play more of that version and wanted to play a different version of the game. Overall, I mean, it's the handheld version of LEGO Racers 2. It's alright for what it is. I'd much rather play other racing games over this, quite honestly. And, you know, hey, at least I'm kind of prepared for the new game, which is coming out, I believe, on May 19th for everyone. And I am so much looking forward to the full release of LEGO 2K Drive. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. And Again, not exactly the way that I wanted to make it, but, you know, I felt like I wanted to try something a bit different. And if you enjoyed this format, please do leave a like, leave a comment telling me what you guys thought of all this, and you know, I'll see you all in whatever next playthrough I do for the future. See you all then, and I'll leave you all with the credits. Goodbye.